I used to be the girl that wouldn't leave Harford County unless I had to go do a settlement.
Right.
And now I'm out of Harford County 50% of the time, and I'm loving
Wow.
it and embracing it.
I
So
love that.
just going into the title companies that already utilize our services at Fidelity. We have three companies that you can underwrite through.
Welcome to the Maryland Real Estate Influencers Podcast, where we explore the ins and outs of the local real estate market. Join us as we chat with industry experts, uncovering tips, trends, and strategies to help you navigate Maryland's real estate landscape. Get ready to elevate your real estate game. Let's dive in. Hi, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Maryland Real Estate Influencers. I am your host, Jennifer Healy, and today I have a special treat for you. A friend of mine, I can definitely call her a friend of mine for, gosh, what, 20 years, if not more. Erica Gibbons. We have worked in this industry together and have known, each other and our kids and our families for such a long time. Erica, thank you so much for being willing to be interviewed on the podcast today.
Thank you. It's actually a pleasure, and I'm happy to be here and happy to get to spend some time with you, Jen.
Thank you so very much. Could you take a moment and tell our listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure.
How you got into the business and what made you come to where you are today?
Okay. So a little bit about me personally. I'm a pretty simple woman. I'm a woman of strong faith. I have 4 adult children. Who of course are amazing. And happy to say in the last 18 months, I now have one precious granddaughter. So this is a new part in my life that I'm absolutely enjoying every minute of. I'm part of a very large, fun-loving, caring family. And I just am a person who strives to sprinkle light and happiness on the daily wherever I can.
You definitely do that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about you.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
So, as far as professionally, kind of strange the way I got started. Believe it or not, I was in the medical field, and a friend of mine had an attorney, a real estate attorney, who needed an administrative assistant. And he asked me if I wanted to go meet with her, and I did. And she owned a title company. And so not licensed, no background at all in title, a totally new venture for me. And that was 23 years ago. And I started there and then really started to embrace and enjoy the industry. And I went on to get my title license. And I have done everything from owning and operating, which is a tough call. I really enjoyed it, but found that when my children were smaller, it was too difficult to do. So after 4 years of owning and operating, I sold my interest to my business partner. And then I started working for title companies and just being able to do everything from A to Z, processing, recording, post-closing, doing settlements, which, by the way, is my very favorite part of the whole process because it involves people.
Sure. That's
so
right.
I worked for a handful of title companies over the next 20 years. And then last year, about a year and a half ago, I was approached by Fidelity National, which is the title insurer. So the progression was actually pretty natural. I never thought about going to the title insurer side, but once I met with them and found out what it entailed, I thought this is a really nice little change of pace and just a little different side of the title industry for me, rather than being what I call on the front line in the field with the consumers and the realtors and the lenders. I'm now on the back end, and I get to help the title companies by providing them with a wonderful title insurance product and then some great resources, and also helping them to market and manage their title insurance business. So it's really fun.
Yeah. Now, what are you having most fun with right now when it comes to marketing?
When it comes to marketing, definitely working with the title companies individually. So we don't have specific territories.
Okay.
I work the entire state of Maryland, but when I came into this position, the person who was promoted, who I took over their location, they don't live in my area, so most of my accounts are not in my area. I do quite a bit of traveling, which
Oh,
I'm
okay.
embracing. I used to be the girl that wouldn't leave Harford County unless I had to go do a settlement.
Right.
And now I'm out of Harford County 50% of the time, and I'm loving
Wow.
it and embracing it.
I
So
love that.
just going into the title companies that already utilize our services at Fidelity. We have three companies that you can underwrite through: Fidelity National, Chicago Title, and Commonwealth Title. And whichever one they select, they become one of our agents, and they get this amazing product from a company who is national. We're a Fortune 500 company, and I just want to add a side note, Jen. I always worked for very small companies, being in the title industry, and this is a Fortune 500 company.
Can you tell us what that means?
That means that we are so strong. We're on the list of Fortune 500, number 302, I think. But this is a financially stable company. This is a big company, but one of the things I love most about it is that we also have that small boutique family feel because we're the Maryland division. So we have this backing from this amazing company with great mentors and great education and great energy. But then we have our small family, and we do call it a family. It's called Fidelity Family of Companies, our small
Oh, wow.
family. And then we bring in title agents that underwrite for us, and they become our family. Being a national title company is important as far as I'm concerned, because you have the financial backing. So in title insurance, if there's a claim, which there are claims, especially lately, I feel like, things have really changed a little bit, but we have the ability to pay those claims. We're not going out of business. We're not going anywhere. So the chance of somebody losing that title policy because a company went under is not going to happen when you work with a national title company.
Now, could you please take a minute to explain to those of us that know this much about title?
Sure.
And I'm sure there's other agents listening to the podcast that are, in the industry, but not in title industry. Could you tell us what a claim looks like? Could you give us like a garden variety of a claim just so that we understand?
Sure, absolutely. So it's a good question because consumers ask it often too. Well, the title company that I'm using is your local, I'm just going to say ABC Title. And ABC Title is going to abstract your property, which means an abstract is just a fancy word for saying we're going to research it. We're going to find out from the day it was in the land records to date, what went on with this property, how it changed hands, who owned it, who had liens against it. Okay. So your title company does their due diligence, and their job is to say, we're happy with what we've reviewed and we're comfortable moving forward with this sale, and we're issuing a title policy. They're issuing it through us. So they're telling us as their insurer that they're comfortable that this is a good policy. We can give $500,000 in coverage to Mr. Homeowner to ensure that he's never going to have a problem with his property as far as ownership goes. Okay. So say for instance, and this is just one thing that could happen. Say for instance, the people selling it to Mr. Homeowner had a lien on the property that didn't show up in the land records. Everything goes wonderful. They go home 2 weeks later, they get something in the mail, and it says that your mortgage hasn't been paid. Well, the mortgage is in the old homeowner's name, but guess what? You're the owner now. that mortgage travels with the property.
Oh,
So your title insurance policy is going to pay for attorneys. It's going to pay to keep your interest in the property. So you just bought a $500,000 home. It has a $400,000 lien on it that now is attached to it. If you don't have title insurance, that's your lien. If you do have title insurance, the good news is the title company takes care of taking care of that lien so that the ownership of your property is not in danger.
wow.
So it's
Yeah.
big stuff. It's
Yeah,
really
it is
important.
big stuff. I've only had one potential. It never actually went to settlement.
Okay.
I won't forget this as long as I live. It was my daughter's first birthday. It was New Year's Eve, 99. And I was at a company, and I will never forget, our title rep was Becky Gottschalk. She's been, I don't even know where she is nowadays. And Susan Hill was the realtor. And I remember all of us sitting at settlement, and the seller walked in and said that he and his wife lost their driver's licenses while they were sitting at the table packing. Everything's gone. Long story short, we got through all the paperwork, but Becky would not give out any checks until she saw driver's licenses to verify these people are who they say they are. And after waiting for another hour for them to produce, look through the U-Haul and all that, he came back and said, "This is my mistress, not my wife." He literally was trying to sell the house from under his wife. I've never had anything like that happen again in 25 years. It never went through settlement, obviously, even though everything was signed, but none of the final documents were. And to this day, I still can't believe that occurred.
Right. And it happens, Jen. And actually, that's a really good example. Fraud.
Yeah.
Fraud. In this day and age, I'm sorry to say it, but I mean, fraud is out there. It's out there and it's big. And if that property would have gone to settlement because it wasn't known before, and then the person who was really the wife and really was in ownership came back after the settlement, your owners would have been protected with title insurance.
That's good to know.
Because that client's going to come back and say, I own half interest in that home. So we're going with that same example, a $500,000 home. She owns $250,000 of that. Well, if it was fraud, your title insurance policy is going to cover to get her reimbursed for her $250,000, and you are clean, happy, and living in your home that you have worked so hard to obtain.
Small price to pay. Pay that low insurance policy to have that kind of protection. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to ask, one of the things I love to ask on here is about everyone's daily success plan. What does yours look like that you're open to share personally as well as in business? What's your daily success plan look like?
Absolutely. On the daily, the first thing I can tell you is that my alarm goes off. And I have a note to myself in my alarm. So when I go to turn it off in my phone, that note every morning says, wake up, give thanks, and shine. And
speaking right to my heart. You really are.
Every day, because I need to be reminded. I don't always wake up in a great mood. I'd love to say I do, but I don't always. Maybe not a good night's sleep, or you're not feeling well, or whatever. So the first thing is that alarm tells me to wake up, give gratitude, because gratitude is so important to me, and shine. So that's my first reminder.
I love that.
The other thing I do is I mentioned I'm a woman of strong faith. So a daily devotional. Doesn't have to be anything huge, not really, really long. I'm not going to tell you I spend an hour every morning. It's maybe 10 minutes of just going into a devotional and just reading it and contemplating and kind of applying it to my own life and what it means to me. Just part of giving that gratitude and some type of exercise. In the past, I did teach spin classes. I haven't done that for a little while. I may get back to it, but I do some type of exercise, walking or stretching, something. If I'm not feeling great and I don't want to do the long walk, it may be just entailing stretching. The older we get, the more important I find that is.
Very true.
Review my day. Executive functioning is something that doesn't come simple to me. I know that some people it does. So I really have to work hard at staying on top of things. I really have to work hard at making sure everything is in my schedule. So I always then look at my schedule, make sure that I know what I have for the coming day. And then also notes. I have notes everywhere. And then also preparing myself for the day as far as physically. I work from home several days a week. I can be in my home office for, 2 days straight, but I still get myself totally up, showered, dressed, ready as if I'm walking out the door. Number one, so that I'm the best I am for my company. What if I do need to walk out the door? I want to be
very important.
But it also helps me to feel better, to be totally ready and, not lounging around like it's a home day. And I think in this day and age, that's really, a lot of us are embracing the working from home, and whatever it is each person has to do to make that successful. And for me, that's one of the things. I literally walk down my steps and into my office door, which I'm in my office right now, dressed and ready for the day.
I love that. I love that. I do that too myself. I have to start my day off. Back in the day, I didn't. I would just put a hair into a pony and get to getting. But as I'm more forward facing now,
Right.
in different positions, so now I'm forward facing. I feel like you got to put the face on, you got to get your hair, got to shower, you got to get yourself ready. After I get finished my personal time in the morning, I just feel like it's the only way to start today. So like you said, you can run out to an appointment if the need arises.
Right.
Outside of what you may already have scheduled. And then, of course, there is the infamous Zoom calls that pop up all the time.
Right.
So you want to be ready for the Zoom calls as well. So thank you. One of the things that I've always, and I think I've shared this in the beginning, that I've been inspired by you is you radiate from your heart outward. You absolutely do. You have a way that I don't know that. I mean, we've all have our moments, right? We all have our bad days, but even in the crux of it, you always find positivity in the day. And one of the things that made me do this podcast when I just got into listening to them in January, and here I am hosting one, is what do you do to keep a positive mindset? And I think that's going to be really interesting hearing from you, because that's just how in my mind, like Erica Gibbons, smile, like that's just who you are in my head. What do you do? Is there something that you do every day to help you with that positive mindset, or is that just something that's God-given?
Yeah, I don't think it's God-given. I think it's God-driven. With the faith that I have, I just face each day with the faith that I know everything is going to be okay. And from a personal level, everybody's experienced tragedy in their life. And I experienced the loss of a husband, and even through that, I rose above. I'm not telling you it wasn't hard. I'm not telling you, but just for me personally, the fact that I have faith and hope, and I know no matter what adversity is thrown at me, I know no matter what I'm faced with, it's going to be okay. And having that secure feeling and knowledge is what gets me through the adversity and the hard times, and every day being positive.
It shows. It absolutely shows. It really does. If I have you as an avatar, it's just like a sun burning bright. That's just my version of you. And always have something positive to say. You're never negative about anybody or any experience. It's just a very positive, enriching
Yeah.
person. Uh,
Positive
so
is so much more, positive is to me just as easy as being negative.
oh
So
yes.
I know a lot of people who spend a lot of time being negative, and they probably spend as much time working on being negative as I do on being positive. So
I
let's
can
do
see
it
that.
for positive.
I can see that. What are some of the technologies that you're utilizing this year that is new for you?
Okay, so technology. Jen, the older we get, I mean, I'm middle-aged now, and trying to embrace surrounding myself with younger people who know more than I do about technology.
So
Um,
important.
but the newest one right now is leveraging video. So my company is helping us to embrace leveraging video. And I just did some training with a platform called BombBomb. And through BombBomb, starting to produce some small videos, and just a little bit different than just sending you the email of, "Hi, Jen, it's nice to meet you." Just learning that 30-second video that you see my face. "Hi, Jen, I'm so looking forward to meeting you. Let's get together next week. I put some dates down below for you to reach out and let me know what works for you." The personal, and you and I both know this, it's about the relationships, and just one, when somebody sees who you are, you always say all the time, put a name with a face. Putting that name with the face right from the beginning and developing that and growing that relationship from there. So it's just leveraging the video, and it's nerve-wracking and fun all at the same time.
I love that. I love that. I need to start doing more, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I
we can
def-
do them together.
yeah, that would be great. I definitely need some accountability when it comes to that. Do you have any goals for the last 4 months in because we're recording this in August, so that any the last 4 months of 2023 or 2024 that you're open to sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I just might mention that one of the things, goals. A mentor of mine, John Rosowski, who's in my networking group, did training with us years ago. We've a networking group that's been together about 12 years.
Wow.
And I had never done any type of training on goals. And so now I'm very big on setting goals. I think for success, it is very, very important. So my goals for the remainder of this year are to help six title companies who don't underwrite with Fidelity yet, get a great title product, and to improve on their processes and increase their volume of business. It's a tough market right now, and I feel confident that with the tools that I have and that I offer through Fidelity National, I can help any title company reach those goals. And in this down market, you need all the collaboration and all the help that you can get. So
Oh
that's
yes.
they're my goals for the next. And again, speaking of goals and projecting or focusing on, I always find that focusing on other people instead of myself. And I think you and I've had this conversation
Oh
before
yes.
because you do the same thing. So I'm not focused on what I want to do or make, or what I'm focused on, who and how I can help others. And as you know, it's the go give spirit, and it always comes back around. And again, that faith tells me that it will, when it's supposed to. And I know that it will eventually. And so I just focus on others and helping them be successful. And then in turn, it helps me be successful.
I love that. Thank you so much, Erica. I do have a referral for you. I have Mary Ann Himmel that will be coming on with Mid-Atlantic Title. She's scheduled in the next month to come on. I would love to see if we can get you two together. I think that would be
Excellent. I appreciate that. And I know that you gave me that referral. I reached out to her a little bit. So
oh, good.
interested to see where that will go. Really solid, great title company.
Fabulous.
that I would love to do business with. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking some of your time and being with us today. I sincerely appreciate it. And how should people contact you if they have any questions about what they're hearing on here or they're a title agent and they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. My cell phone, same phone number I've had since I started in the industry. I didn't have a phone, I don't think 23 years ago, but since I started, 410-292-1053. I carry it with me all the time. If I'm not available, I do return messages.
Thank you so much for your time, Erica. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Jen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining the Maryland Real Estate Influencers podcast. We'd like to ask you 2 favors. Number 1, forward this podcast to 3 of your favorite realtor friends. They'll thank you for it, and I'll thank you for it too. Number 2, we'd love reviews. It helps get the word out.